The Whispering Grove. As the sun dips below the horizon, the last golden rays filter through the canopy of an ancient forest, one that has stood for thousands of years, its roots sunk deep into memory and silence. The forest breathes a slow, gentle rhythm, and in this hush, the world of plants begins to awaken in its own quiet way. Tonight, we begin our journey into the secret life of plants, exploring their hidden intelligence, silent conversations, and ancient wisdom. But before we begin, take a deep breath in, and let it go slowly. Close your eyes if they aren't already closed, and settle into the comfort of your pillow. Let your body feel heavy, supported by your mattress, and know that there is nothing you need to do but listen and rest. The story begins in the heart of a forgotten woodland called the Whispering Grove. No maps lead here. No roads find this place. It lies beyond the noise of modern life, in a gentle fold between time and stillness. Tall oaks, wide-armed sycamores, and graceful willows form a protective circle around a soft clearing. Here, the air is fragrant with moss and lichen, and the wind whispers lullabies in languages only trees remember. In this sacred grove, an old tree named Viridia stands watch. She is the grandmother of the forest, a towering beech whose silver bark holds stories in every line. Her branches stretch high into the sky, cradling birds and reaching toward the stars. But it is not just her size that makes her special. Viridia remembers. She remembers the time before humans walked this land. She remembers the way the seasons used to come like verses in a song. She remembers the first time a deer sheltered beneath her roots, and the 1,000 times it happened since. Beneath Viridia's vast boughs grows a patch of glowing blue wildflowers, plants that bloom only at night and only in the presence of true peace. These flowers hum softly in a pitch too low for most to hear. But if you're still, if your heart is quiet, you may feel the vibration, like a lullaby running through the earth. Nearby, a young fern named Luma begins to unfurl her coiled fronds. She's new to this world, only weeks old, and full of curiosity. Luma does not speak in words, of course, plants have no mouths. But they listen. They feel. They respond. When Viridia pulses gently through the soil, like a grandmother patting the earth in encouragement, Luma feels the guidance rise into her roots. Grow, child. Slowly, but surely. Reach toward the light, but never forget the roots that ground you. This is how plants talk. Through root tips that brush against each other like fingertips. Through signals passed in the rich network of fungi that weave through the soil, connecting one life to another in a delicate web known as the Wood Wide Web. Luma doesn't yet understand the messages in full. But she listens. And in listening, she learns. Above her, tiny seeds drift on the air like sleepy thoughts. Dandelions caught in the breeze float downward, settling into fertile earth, each carrying a dream inside. A nearby willow named Salix hums a soft, weeping tune. Willows know sorrow better than most trees, but they also know how to turn sadness into beauty. Her branches sway even without wind, as if swaying to the memory of a lullaby sung long ago. And as night deepens, a symphony of life begins beneath the surface. Roots stretch, so slowly they seem still, but they are always growing, seeking moisture, nutrients, and connection. Leaves turn ever so slightly toward the moon, absorbing its silver glow. Even flowers that have closed for the day prepare for the sun's return. This forest is not asleep. It is dreaming. The stars above peek through the canopy, winking gently. A soft rustling passes through the leaves, a lullaby in green and gold. Insects hum, frogs croak in distant ponds, and all around is peace. If you listen closely, you might hear the plants whispering stories not in sound, but in vibration. You might sense the ancient intelligence that lives in their stems, their leaves, their chlorophyll-filled hearts. And if you're very still, like the old stones resting by the roots, you might feel a connection forming, a gentle awareness rising from the soil to meet you. Here, in the Whispering Grove, every plant has a name. Every tree has a memory. Every root tells a story. And tonight, as you drift gently toward sleep, you are part of that story. Safe under Viridia's watchful branches. Cradled in the arms of the earth. Rocked by the rhythm of roots and rain. You are not alone. The forest is with you. Now let the whispers grow faint. Let your breath slow. Let your thoughts become dandelions on the breeze. Floating, drifting, falling gently into dreams. Tomorrow, we'll continue this journey, into the hidden life of leaves, the secret language of vines, and the stories that seeds remember. But for now, rest. Crescent moon. The language of leaves. Welcome back to the Whispering Grove, a place tucked beyond time, where the world of plants murmurs its secrets beneath moonlight and moss. As you settle deeper into the comfort of your bed, take a slow, easy breath. Let your shoulders relax. Let the stillness rise around you like a soft blanket. The forest awaits your return. Last time, we met Viridia, the grandmother beech tree, and Luma, the young fern beginning her first season of life. Tonight, we listen closer, to the leaves themselves. Imagine yourself walking slowly into the heart of the grove, each step soft against the mossy ground. Above you, the leaves flutter gently in a midnight breeze. But this fluttering is more than just motion, it is communication. You see, leaves speak a language. Not in sound, but in signal. They shimmer, they shift, they release invisible clouds of scent and chemical messages. They stretch toward the sun when it rises, and bow in gentle gratitude when the rain returns. High above, a tall poplar named Elian rustles his long, trembling leaves. Poplars are known for this trembling, for always seeming to dance, even when the air is still. But to other trees, Elian is not just dancing, he's sending a signal. You see, earlier today, a hungry caterpillar took one too many bites from one of Elian's uppermost branches. And now, the tree has released a scent, a warning, to the trees nearby. His neighbors respond in kind, drawing in their own defenses, thickening their leaves, preparing quietly. None of this happens in haste. Plants live in a rhythm slower than ours, more patient. But it is no less alive. In fact, the wisdom of the leaves lies in their slowness, their attentiveness. Each leaf is both shield and sensor, taking in sunlight, air, and news from the world. Back on the forest floor, Luma the fern tilts her new leaves ever so slightly. She's learning to read the light, to follow the subtle turns of the sun. The more she listens, the more she understands. Viridia, ever watchful, sends out a subtle pulse through the soil, a note of encouragement. You are growing well, little one. Steady and true. Elsewhere, a vine named Thale stretches between branches, climbing inch by inch toward the canopy. Vines are fluent in the language of touch. Thale's tendrils curl and test their surroundings, wrapping gently around bark and twig. Every surface tells a story. Every grip is a conversation. Thale's leaves catch the moonlight and shimmer. Their tiny pores open to the cool night air, exhaling oxygen and drawing in whispers of carbon dioxide. It is a breath shared across the forest, one the plants have offered freely for millions of years. But not all leaf talk is serious. Some leaves glitter in the breeze just for the joy of it. A grove of silver birches nearby shivers with laughter, their round leaves twinkling like coins. A kind of leafy symphony rises from them, each tree a musician in nature's orchestra. Tonight, a soft mist begins to settle over the Whispering Grove. Dew forms on leaf tips, clinging like tiny crystals. The leaves embrace it, soaking in the moisture, offering thanks. The scent of the forest deepens, damp earth, crushed pine, something faintly floral carried on the wind. This, too, is a message. A bouquet of plant intentions, some attracting pollinators, others warding off those who feed too hungrily. You lie now beneath a leafy roof that pulses gently with quiet life. Each leaf above you is a guardian, catching starlight, sheltering dreams, filtering the world. And as you drift closer to sleep, your breath begins to sync with the rhythm of the forest. Inhale, feel the leaves pulling in light and air. Exhale, let go like leaves falling in autumn. Inhale, and exhale, slowly and peacefully. The language of leaves is soft and patient. And it welcomes you tonight with open arms. Rest well, under the watchful leaves. Tomorrow, we'll wander into the underground world, where roots whisper secrets through shadowed soil. But for now, drift, as softly as a leaf floating on a summer breeze. Leaf fluttering in wind. The whispering roots. Welcome back to the heart of the whispering grove. Tonight, as the stars twinkle like dew above the treetops and a hush blankets the forest floor, we travel deeper, beneath your feet, into the hidden world of roots. Take a deep breath and imagine the soil below slowly opening, like a gentle curtain, inviting you in. Down here, the forest is just as alive, though it speaks in quieter tones, in darker hues, and in the language of patience and connection. The roots of trees, ferns, shrubs, and flowers stretch like fingers beneath the surface. They intertwine and reach, forming vast networks that carry not only water and nutrients but also messages passed from tree to tree, plant to plant, over time. This underground web is sometimes called the Wood Wide Web. Through it, trees share wisdom. Older trees send nutrients to younger ones. Ailing trees warn the healthy. It's a slow, steady pulse, a conversation centuries in the making. Let's follow Viridia's roots. The great beech tree we met in part 1 has lived here for more than 200 years. Her roots reach wide and deep, anchoring her to the soil, yes, but also connecting her to those around her. Like an elder in a village, she watches and cares, her roots brushing against the roots of oaks, pines, maples, and wildflowers. Nearby, Luma the fern is just beginning to stretch her roots beyond the soft humus that cradled her birth. Every inch deeper she grows, the more she hears. Not in words, but in a sensation, a feeling of belonging. Through fungi called mycorrhizae, trees and plants communicate across species. These fungi wrap around roots and become messengers, carrying sugars and water but also alarms, gratitude, and guidance. It's through this system that Viridia learned of Elian's caterpillar troubles up above. And it's how she knows when Luma is thirsty or when the forest is stressed by the coming of a dry season. Down here, in this gentle realm, time moves differently. A second above might be a minute below. And each moment is packed with meaning. Roots don't rush. They explore. They listen. And they remember. Further beneath the forest floor, the roots meet ancient stones, granite and quartz that have lain silent for millennia. Even these stones are part of the story. Water flows around them, minerals release slowly into the roots that cradle them. It's a quiet offering, too slow for the human eye, but perfect in the rhythm of plants. Tonight, a gentle vibration passes through the soil, like the hum of distant thunder. But it's not a storm. It's the sound of shifting water tables, a soft reminder that the earth itself breathes. And the roots respond, adjusting, curving, sensing, always alive. You lie above all of this, warm and safe, as the ground beneath you hums with ancient life. Imagine your breath syncing with the rhythm of roots. Inhale, and imagine Viridia's roots pulling in water from a crystal spring deep below. Exhale, and feel that moisture travel upward, slowly feeding the trunk and leaves. Inhale, and imagine Luma's tiny roots reaching farther, discovering a world she never knew existed. Exhale, and know you are part of this great balance, part of the breath of the forest. Even in your rest, you are connected. Connected to the roots below, to the wind above, to the stars that shine like the dew on moss. The whispering roots will watch over you tonight. They'll hum you to sleep. They'll keep you grounded. They'll remind you that no matter how quiet things may seem, beneath the surface, life is always flowing. Rest now. And tomorrow, we'll rise again to explore how plants greet the dawn, and how sunlight awakens not just the leaves, but the soul of the forest itself. Until then, sleep deeply, with the earth beneath you and the roots whispering dreams through the dark. Globe showing Europe, Africa, herb. When leaves greet the sun. Tonight, let your body rest like the forest at twilight, calm, still, and waiting. And together, we'll rise with the morning light, not quickly, but gently, just like the leaves in the whispering grove. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and picture the very moment before dawn. The sky is still blue-gray, the stars are slipping away one by one, and the forest is suspended between dreaming and waking. Everything is quiet, except for the occasional flutter of wings or the faint rustle of a breeze through the canopy. Now imagine Viridia, the grand beech tree, who has stood here for over 2 centuries. Her leaves, hundreds of thousands of tiny green ovals, begin to shimmer faintly in the pre-dawn light. Each leaf stretches ever so slightly, not unlike the way your fingers stretch after a deep sleep. As the first golden threads of sunlight peek over the edge of the world, something magical happens, the leaves awaken. They don't have eyes to see the sun, but they feel it. Hidden within each leaf are tiny green engines called chloroplasts, full of chlorophyll, the pigment that captures sunlight and turns it into life-giving energy. It's called photosynthesis, a quiet miracle. In that process, sunlight is absorbed. Carbon dioxide is drawn in. Water travels up through the roots. And together, they form sugar, the food of the plant, and oxygen, which you and I breathe. Take a slow breath in. That's the gift of the trees. Breathe out. That's your gift back to them. Up and down the forest, this exchange goes on silently. It's like a giant dance where light becomes food, and air becomes life. Luma, the young fern near the base of Viridia's trunk, feels the warmth too. Her fronds open wider. Like solar panels, every cell angles just right to catch the light. She doesn't rush. Plants never do. But with the coming of light, there's a quiet joy in the forest, a feeling that the world is stirring and that each leaf, petal, and blade of grass is ready to do its part. Above, the trees aren't just growing. They're reading the day. Light tells them the season. The angle of the sun reveals the time. And they respond, not with sound, but with posture, shape, and breath. Some flowers only open when sunlight hits them a certain way. Others, like the sunflower, slowly turn their faces to follow the arc of the sun all day long, a gentle rotation called heliotropism. It's as if the sun is a friend who visits every day, and each plant greets it with quiet reverence. Down below, the roots feel it too. As sunlight increases, the demand for water rises. And so, the roots dig deeper, drawing moisture up through the xylem, the microscopic straws of the plant's body. You can almost imagine that upward pull as a peaceful rush, like sipping from a straw very slowly. The entire plant, from root to tip, is alive with movement, though to our eyes, it seems perfectly still. But in the language of nature, this is a song. A song sung in light and water and green. And as you rest, you're part of it. You're lying in the soft forest bed, wrapped in warmth, your breath slow and steady. Your lungs and the leaves breathe together. Your heart beats with the rhythm of the sun. There is no rush. There is no worry. There is only the gentle pulse of life rising with the day, rising in the trees, and rising in you. Sleep now, if you like. Let your dreams grow tall and leafy. Let the sun warm your imagination. And tomorrow, we'll explore how plants speak, not with words, but with color, scent, and subtle signs in the breeze. Until then, may you rest in sunlight, even in your dreams. Sun deciduous tree. Whispers without words. Tonight, we settle into a place where language has no voice, but everything still speaks. Let your body become light as a leaf on a still pond. Let the hush of the evening forest surround you, where every plant, every petal, every tendril of vine is whispering, not with sound, but with subtle, beautiful signals. Close your eyes now. Inhale deeply, and exhale slowly. You're resting on soft moss beneath an archway of ferns. Above, fireflies twinkle gently between branches. The forest is calm, the trees at peace, but around you, a quiet conversation is always happening. This is the language of plants. It has no alphabet, no grammar. But it's spoken in scent, color, movement, and chemistry. Let's begin with the scents, the perfumes that float invisibly through the air. When a rose blooms, its fragrance isn't just for your nose. That scent is a message, calling bees and butterflies to visit. Each flower has its own signature, a blend of compounds designed to attract specific pollinators. Some flowers are sweet in the morning for bees, others bloom at night for moths. Now imagine a lavender field swaying gently in the breeze. That calming scent you know and love? It's also a protective shield, discouraging tiny insects from chewing the leaves. It's a perfume and a defense. A greeting and a boundary. And when danger arrives, say, a caterpillar starts nibbling on a leaf, something incredible happens. That leaf sends out a chemical signal. Nearby leaves pick it up, and begin to prepare. Their chemistry shifts. Some release bitter tastes. Others thicken their skin. Some even send out airborne messages to nearby plants, danger is here. It's like a silent alarm, heard only by the green ones. This isn't fear. It's strategy. A symphony of survival, composed leaf by leaf. Then there's the color. A bright red berry signals, eat me. Carry my seeds far away. A vivid orange flower cries out, come pollinate me. Even changing leaves in the fall, those brilliant golds and reds, are part of the conversation. They tell the world that the season is turning, that rest is coming. Now listen closely, not with ears, but with imagination. You're surrounded by this forest language. Beneath your resting body, the moss is whispering to the roots of nearby trees through something called mycorrhizae, a delicate network of fungi that connect one plant to another, like an underground internet. It's through this network that trees share nutrients, warn each other of droughts, and even care for their young. Older trees, sometimes called mother trees, can detect when saplings are struggling and send extra carbon through the root network to help them grow. It's compassion, expressed without words. And it's real. The forest is not a collection of isolated individuals. It's a community. Each plant listening, each one speaking, all the time. Even vines understand this language. When a vine grows, it spirals gently in space. It feels for nearby objects. It senses the heat, the light, the shape of others. And when it finds the right surface, a tree trunk, perhaps, it gently winds itself upward, never too tightly, always aware. This sensitivity, this stillness, this deep connection, it's something we often forget in the noise of the world. But here, in this green hush, the plants remember. They speak without speaking. And if you listen with your whole body, you can hear it. A soft shifting in the air. A flower turning toward the moon. A seed pod opening with a quiet pop. A message passed through root and leaf. So breathe deeply again. Inhale, and exhale. And imagine that you, too, are part of this symphony. Your heart, your lungs, your breath are in rhythm with the forest. No rush. No pressure. Just the gentle, thoughtful pace of plant time. And as you drift toward sleep, know this, the plants will continue their whispers. They will continue their dance. And tomorrow night, we'll explore how they adapt to the seasons, how they wait, endure, and bloom once again. But for now, rest in this quiet communion. You are safe. You are still. And you are never alone in the forest. Crescent Moon Evergreen Tree. The stillness between seasons. Tonight, let us slow our minds and settle deeper into the wisdom of nature, into a moment of stillness that only plants can truly understand. Take a gentle breath in, and a slower breath out. Let the cares of your day fall away like dry leaves on the wind. In this story, we journey not through action, but through pause. We join the plants as they enter their sacred season of waiting. You find yourself lying beneath a tall sycamore tree. Its bark is smooth and pale in the moonlight. Around you, the forest is hushed, not asleep, but watchful. The air is crisp, touched by the chill of approaching autumn. This is the time of transition. A time when plants begin their quiet retreat, not in fear, but in wisdom. For most of the year, they have reached, grown, flowered, and fed the world around them. Now, they turn inward. And the forest becomes a gallery of graceful endings. You watch as a leaf, once emerald green, now glows golden in the moonlight. It flutters gently in the cool breeze, then lets go, twirling toward the forest floor like a falling star. No panic, no resistance, just release. This surrender isn't failure. It's the plant's elegant understanding of cycles. Each falling leaf is part of a greater rhythm, feeding the soil, nurturing the roots, preparing the world for what comes next. In this dormancy, the plants are storing energy. Like tiny lanterns, their cells glow with sugars and memories of summer sun, waiting for the right moment to rise again. Let's visit a tulip bulb beneath the soil. All year, it rests in darkness. Silent. Unmoving. But inside, cells slowly divide. Instructions are whispered from gene to gene, saying, "Be patient. Wait for warmth. When it is time, you will rise." No alarm clock is needed. No voice calls them out of slumber. They know. And deep below, where roots twist through the dark, plants are not asleep. They are conserving, listening, dreaming. Because every plant holds a map, not just of where to grow, but when. Now breathe in deeply. And imagine that you too carry that inner knowing. That just like the trees, you are allowed to rest. To pause. To prepare in quiet ways. The trees do not rush the seasons. Neither should we. Let's turn now to a forest in midwinter. The leaves are gone. The flowers have folded. But still, there is presence. Evergreens stand tall, their needles shimmering with frost. Their branches move gently in the wind, whispering secrets about the sun's return. Even in the coldest nights, the forest remains alive, slower, yes, but never silent. The moss beneath your fingers is soft, its green unfaded, even as the frost kisses its surface. It holds moisture, warmth, memory. A seed, fallen long ago, rests beside it, its hard shell keeping a delicate shoot safe from the freeze. It will not sprout until the time is right. You are safe. You are still. And you are never alone in the forest. Crescent moon evergreen tree. The stillness between seasons. Tonight, let us slow our minds and settle deeper into the wisdom of nature, into a moment of stillness that only plants can truly understand. Take a gentle breath in, and a slower breath out. Let the cares of your day fall away like dry leaves on the wind. In this story, we journey not through action, but through pause. We join the plants as they enter their sacred season of waiting. You find yourself lying beneath a tall sycamore tree. Its bark is smooth and pale in the moonlight. Around you, the forest is hushed, not asleep, but watchful. The air is crisp, touched by the chill of approaching autumn. This is the time of transition. A time when plants begin their quiet retreat, not in fear, but in wisdom. For most of the year, they have reached, grown, flowered, and fed the world around them. Now, they turn inward. And the forest becomes a gallery of graceful endings. You watch as a leaf, once emerald green, now glows golden in the moonlight. It flutters gently in the cool breeze, then lets go, twirling toward the forest floor like a falling star. No panic, no resistance, just release. This surrender isn't failure. It's the plant's elegant understanding of cycles. Each falling leaf is part of a greater rhythm, feeding the soil, nurturing the roots, preparing the world for what comes next. In this dormancy, the plants are storing energy. Like tiny lanterns, their cells glow with sugars and memories of summer sun, waiting for the right moment to rise again. Let's visit a tulip bulb beneath the soil. All year, it rests in darkness. Silent. Unmoving. But inside, cells slowly divide. Instructions are whispered from gene to gene, saying, "Be patient. Wait for warmth. When it is time, you will rise." No alarm clock is needed. No voice calls them out of slumber. They know. And deep below, where roots twist through the dark, plants are not asleep. They are conserving, listening, dreaming. Because every plant holds a map, not just of where to grow, but when. Now breathe in deeply. And imagine that you too carry that inner knowing. That just like the trees, you are allowed to rest. To pause. To prepare in quiet ways. The trees do not rush the seasons. Neither should we. Let's turn now to a forest in midwinter. The leaves are gone. The flowers have folded. But still, there is presence. Evergreens stand tall, their needles shimmering with frost. Their branches move gently in the wind, whispering secrets about the sun's return. Even in the coldest nights, the forest remains alive, slower, yes, but never silent. The moss beneath your fingers is soft, its green unfaded, even as the frost kisses its surface. It holds moisture, warmth, memory. A seed, fallen long ago, rests beside it, its hard shell keeping a delicate shoot safe from the freeze. It will not sprout until the time is right. Raindrops become part of something larger, woven into the plant's structure, drawn toward the sun, and eventually released again into the air. A cycle of giving and receiving, repeated endlessly. Even desert plants, with their thick skins and hidden stores, know the sacred value of water. Cacti collect it in the rarest moments of rain, tucking it away in fleshy stems, careful not to waste a single drop. Their thorns may seem sharp, but they are not weapons. They are guardians, shielding their precious reserves from thirsty wanderers. You sit now beneath a banana tree, its wide green leaves sheltering you like umbrellas. You hear it, soft clicks and tiny pops, water traveling, stretching the cells gently as they grow. The tree is not moving, and yet, inside, everything is in motion. Just like your own breath. Your own blood. Your own dreaming mind. So tonight, remember, water doesn't always rush. Sometimes, its greatest work is done in silence. Within the walls of a root. The stem of a flower. The veins of a leaf. Or the soft stillness of your own resting body. Let it soothe you. Let it soften you. Let the whispers of water carry you to sleep. The light they catch. Let's begin by closing your eyes, and taking a long, slow breath. Inhale, gently. Exhale, fully. Tonight, we're going to drift into the delicate magic of light, not the blazing, blinding kind, but the quiet sunlight that slips between branches, dances on leaves, and fuels the silent, sacred process of life in plants. Let the warmth of that light rest on your face. Let it soften your breath. You find yourself in a gentle meadow just before dawn. The sky is painted with soft indigo and pink, and a morning hush settles over every blade of grass. In this tranquil moment, plants are preparing for a daily ritual they've performed for millions of years. Photosynthesis. A long, elegant word for something profoundly simple, the act of catching light. Each leaf, from the tallest oak to the tiniest sprout, is a solar collector, crafted not by machines, but by time. You kneel by a cluster of wildflowers. Their petals are still closed, cradling the last of the night's dew. But inside their green leaves, something waits, a pigment called chlorophyll, the secret to absorbing sunlight. As the first rays of dawn break over the horizon, the leaves awaken. They open. They stretch. And they begin to drink in the day. Inside, tiny light particles, photons, are caught and transformed into energy. The leaf, so simple in appearance, becomes a quiet factory, crafting sugar, storing fuel, and breathing life back into the world. This process powers everything. The trees. The animals. The oxygen you are breathing right now. All because plants know how to turn light into life. Isn't that a beautiful thought? That as you lie in bed, breathing in and out, some leaf, somewhere, is greeting the sun, and breathing out what you breathe in. A perfect exchange. A wordless promise. Inhale, and imagine a forest canopy high above. Sunlight filters through the leaves in golden streams. Some rays touch the tops of trees, others wander deeper, reaching vines, mosses, and ferns. Even in the dimmest corners, plants adapt. They stretch. They bend. They turn their leaves toward the light. Slowly, patiently, with a determination born of peace. Some plants only bloom when the light is just right, sunflowers that follow the sun from east to west, moonflowers that open only under silver moonbeams. Each has its rhythm. Each follows its own pattern of light and shadow. You wander deeper into the meadow. A tall sunflower stands before you, its broad face turned toward the golden sky. You place your palm against its stem and feel a faint hum, not a sound, but a sensation. Life, flowing upward. Sugars moving down. Water rising. And above it all, the dance of light. You lie back in the soft grass now, gazing up at the pale blue sky. Above you, leaves flutter. Below you, roots drink deeply. And around you, photosynthesis continues, steady, unseen, and essential. Let that thought lull you into stillness. That right now, the world is quietly turning sunlight into sweetness. That life depends not just on light, but on the plants that know how to catch it. Let your breath rise like a leaf toward the sun. And fall like a petal returning to earth. You are part of this rhythm. You are part of this light. Sleep well, dear dreamer. Sun with face, leaf fluttering in wind sparkles. Roots of memory. Close your eyes now. Take a soft breath in, and slowly let it go. Again, in, and out. With each breath, imagine yourself sinking deeper, not into sleep just yet, but into the earth itself. Tonight, we're going underground, into the secret world of roots, a world that hums beneath our feet, unnoticed, yet full of life, memory, and quiet connection. Picture yourself in a forest again, this time at dusk. The air is cool and fragrant. Pine needles cushion your steps, and the trees above sway gently in the breeze. But you're not staying above ground tonight. You sit beside an old oak tree. Its bark is rough and warm. You place your hand against its trunk, and then, almost like magic, you begin to sink downward, slowly and gently, into the soil below. The light fades, replaced by soft shadows and the cool embrace of earth. Down here, the forest is alive in a different way. Twisting roots reach out in every direction, like veins beneath the skin of the planet. They stretch toward water, nutrients, and, remarkably, toward each other. Roots are not just anchors. They're not just straws sipping water from the soil. They are communicators. Messengers. Rememberers. Through the earth, plants speak. Not in words, but in whispers of chemistry and rhythm. You float past a network of roots from different trees, an old cedar, a young maple, a blooming dogwood. Their roots intertwine like fingers holding hands. They pass along signals, warning of droughts, pests, and even fire. They share water. They distribute food. Some call this the wood wide web, a living internet of roots and fungi that lets plants share resources and respond together. It's like a forest-wide memory, passed from root to root, tree to tree. You glide deeper. You pass the roots of a plant that remembers summer drought. Its roots are thick and coiled tightly around hidden moisture. Next, you find a tree whose roots curl protectively around a seedling, not its own, but one from a different species. Still, the tree feeds it, shielding it from harsh conditions, as if offering protection just because it can. Isn't that astonishing? That beneath us lies a realm of generosity, of memory, of care? Down here, in the slow, still darkness, nothing is rushed. Plants think in seasons. They remember in centuries. You reach the base of an ancient root, wide as a river. It hums with a deep, slow pulse. If you listen closely, you can almost hear it. Remember the rain. Remember the warmth. Remember the fire. Remember to wait, to grow, to rest. And with that, you feel the wisdom of the roots settle into you too. You are grounded now. Supported. Connected to the entire living earth. So breathe in, and feel the stillness of the soil. Breathe out, and let go into the calm that lies below everything. Tonight, as you drift toward sleep, know that you are like the roots too. Part of something larger. Older. Wiser. And full of memory. Good night, dreamer of the deep. A symphony of seasons. Let your eyes gently close now. Take a slow breath in, hold for just a moment, and breathe out softly. Tonight, let the rhythm of nature lull you into rest. The rhythm of time, of change, of quiet transformation. Let's return to the forest, not as it was in spring, or the fullness of summer, but as it transforms through every season. You begin at the center of the grove, a circle of ancient trees, their branches stretched wide and full of leaves. The sunlight is warm and golden. It is late summer. The air is sweet with the scent of ripening fruit. Bees hum lazily. The plants here are basking, soaking in the last long days of sunlight before the shift begins. You sit at the edge of a small clearing. A sunflower, tall and golden, gently turns its face to follow the sun. This is heliotropism, a quiet sun-chasing dance. Even now, plants are listening to the light, counting the hours of daylight, sensing the temperature. They are preparing. Because change is coming. You feel the season begin to turn. A cool wind drifts through the forest, and the green canopy shimmers, then slowly, gently begins to change. Leaves blush into gold, amber, and deep rust. The trees know. They don't panic or resist. They accept the change with patience. With trust. With rhythm. This is autumn. Sap slows in the trunks. Nutrients are drawn inward. The trees release what no longer serves them, old leaves fluttering down like sleepy thoughts. Even the smallest wildflowers bow gracefully, letting go of their blossoms as seeds prepare to fall into waiting soil. And then, quiet. The wind hushes. The sky softens. Winter. You step lightly now over snow-covered roots. At first glance, the forest seems still. But listen closely, beneath the hush, there's motion. Roots continue to grow slowly underground. Some evergreens hold tight to their needles, catching the pale winter light. Seeds sleep. Buds hide under bark, waiting. All around you, life is resting, not ending. Dormancy, the plant world's way of dreaming. And then, after a long breath of stillness, a glimmer. The tip of a snowdrop breaks the frost. Tiny buds swell on branches. And just like that, spring returns. Green unfurls everywhere. Shoots rise. Petals open like sleepy eyes blinking in morning sun. You feel the joy of the forest waking up, sap rising, colors blooming, bees returning, and roots stretching with energy again. Every plant remembers the dance, the pattern, the symphony of seasons. And now, so do you. You feel it within your own breath, your own heart. A cycle of blooming and resting, of letting go, and beginning again. Tonight, as you drift off, remember that change doesn't have to be feared. It's part of the rhythm. It's part of life. Sleep now, dear listener, carried gently on the current of seasons, wrapped in petals, tucked under leaves, and kissed by soft winds of time. Good night. How trees talk. Close your eyes now. Let your breath become gentle and quiet, like the rustle of wind through distant leaves. In tonight's journey, we return to the forest, but this time, we listen, not with our ears alone, but with the heart. Because in the hush between breaths, trees are speaking. Breathe in slowly, and out. Let your mind wander to a grove of tall, old trees. Their trunks rise like ancient pillars, strong and wise. You stand in the heart of this living cathedral. All around, leaves quiver. Roots dig deep. Moss climbs quietly. This is not a silent place, it only seems so. Beneath your feet, just below the soil, lies a web, a vast, invisible network connecting root to root, tree to tree. It's called the mycorrhizal network, though some call it the wood wide web. It's a symphony of fungi and roots, sharing nutrients, sending messages, an ancient system of cooperation and care. Imagine a mother tree, tall, wide, generous. She feels her saplings growing nearby, young and tender. And through this underground web, she sends them sugar, minerals, even water. When one tree falls ill, others respond, giving support and sharing resources. If a tree is damaged, chemicals flow, warning the others. They prepare, adjusting their chemistry, hardening their bark or releasing protective scents into the air. Even above ground, trees talk. Not in words, but in signals carried by the wind. They release tiny molecules, scent messages. If insects chew their leaves, a tree might send out a chemical call. Nearby trees respond, producing bitter-tasting defenses to deter the hungry mouths. The forest is not a place of lonely trees, but a family, a community. A web of empathy, memory, and adaptation. Close your eyes and imagine you are a tree now. Your roots stretch deep into the earth, brushing against the roots of your neighbors. You share what you don't need. You receive what you lack. Above, your leaves flutter gently. Sunlight trickles down. You listen. Not with ears, but with your whole being. You feel the signals. The language of rustling. Of growth. Of patience. Of warning. And of welcome. Even in death, a tree gives back, becoming a nurse log, feeding fungi and sheltering seedlings, returning its energy to the circle of life. Tonight, as you fall asleep, feel yourself becoming part of the network. Connected. Supported. Rooted. Let the whispers of the forest flow through you, ancient, slow, and kind. And sleep peacefully, knowing you are never truly alone. Just like the trees, you are part of something greater. Good night, gentle soul. The desert's hidden garden. Settle in now. Let your body become still and your breathing soft, like the hush of early morning across a quiet landscape. Tonight, we travel to a place where life hides in plain sight, where the sun burns hot, the rain rarely falls, and yet, the plants still whisper ancient wisdom beneath the sand and stone. Tonight, we explore the desert. Breathe in deeply. Imagine warm air scented with dry earth and wild herbs. As the sun begins to set, the desert transforms. What once appeared barren now reveals a secret garden, alive, intricate, and endlessly patient. Look closely. You might see the ocotillo, with its tall green stalks that appear lifeless for most of the year. But when rain touches the earth, it bursts into flame-like blooms, red and bright. Nearby, the saguaro cactus stands tall like a sentinel. It can live for over 150 years, slowly growing arms that reach out like a silent embrace. Inside, it holds gallons of water, carefully stored, gathered drop by precious drop. Cacti don't waste a moment. Their spines, which seem harsh, are in fact adaptations, protecting them from heat, wind, and thirsty animals. Their thick skin keeps the water in. Their shallow roots collect every trace of dew or storm. But not all desert plants grow tall. Look down at the creosote bush. Its leaves release a smell like rain on dry pavement, a scent that desert wanderers know well. This small, hardy shrub has an extraordinary power. Its roots release natural chemicals that keep other plants from crowding too close. In the silence, it carves out just enough room to breathe, to survive. And what about the resurrection plant? This little wonder can appear to be a bundle of dry twigs, curled in on itself for months, or even years. But when a single drop of rain falls upon it, it begins to unfurl, slowly, gracefully. Its leaves turn green again. It drinks deeply, then returns to rest when the water is gone. In the desert, life is not in a rush. It waits. It listens. It remembers how to survive. And in its stillness, there is strength. Imagine now you are a desert flower. The wind kisses your petals gently. Your roots stretch into warm sand. You open only at night, blooming beneath the stars, when it's cool, quiet, and the world has slowed. The desert teaches us patience. It shows us how to thrive in silence, to find beauty in simplicity, and to cherish every drop of nourishment. Let your breath become as slow as a blooming cactus flower, as steady as a rock warmed by the sun. Let your body soften and your thoughts grow quiet. You, too, are part of this hidden world, a miracle of stillness, a garden of dreams. Sleep now, desert flower. You are safe. You are strong. And the stars above are watching over you. The plants that eat the air. Welcome back, dreamer. Lie still now, and let your breath fall into a soft, quiet rhythm. Tonight, we return to the living world of plants, not to observe from a distance, but to go deeper, into their invisible magic. Tonight, we discover how plants breathe in what we let go, and turn it into something new, something life-giving. Tonight, we explore the plants that eat the air. Close your eyes. Imagine you're standing in a lush forest clearing, dappled sunlight filtering through a green canopy above. The air is cool, moist, and rich with the scent of leaves and life. What you don't see, but what fills every corner of this place, is carbon dioxide. Invisible, drifting, exhaled by animals and people alike. And every plant around you is reaching for it. Every leaf is a tiny workshop, a silent engine powered by sunlight. It starts with the sun. As morning breaks across the forest, rays of golden light touch the surface of a fern's wide frond. Inside that frond, special cells stir. They begin the delicate dance of photosynthesis. This word might sound complex, but the process is simple and beautiful. The plant takes in sunlight, water from the soil, and carbon dioxide from the air. Then, almost like a spell, it transforms them into sugar for energy, and oxygen for the world. You breathe in, and what fills your lungs? The sweet gift of plant breath. That breath comes from a patch of moss, clinging to a rock in shade. From a seaweed ribbon swaying in a coastal tide. From the blades of grass outside your window. From forests, jungles, even floating algae in the ocean, tiny green factories producing most of the oxygen we breathe. Imagine one of those algae now. It is so small, it floats unseen. Yet multiplied by the billions, it helps cool the earth, feed the fish, and balance the skies. That's the secret power of plants. They do not rush, but they are always working. They build life not through noise or speed, but through patience, repetition, and the quiet alchemy of light and air. They ask for nothing loud. Just sunlight. A little water. A moment of stillness. Now imagine the gentle rustling of leaves above you. Each one silently inhaling carbon, and exhaling peace. Even as you sleep tonight, the trees continue their breathing. Inhale, sunlight, exhale, oxygen. Inhale, darkness, exhale, stillness. Let your own breath mirror theirs. Slow. Steady. Soft. You are part of this great cycle. As you rest, your breath feeds the green world. And in return, the green world gives you the air you need to dream. Breathe in that gift. And drift gently into the quiet green spaces of sleep. Whispering roots and talking trees. Welcome back, dear listener. Settle under your covers, let your breath grow long and loose, and allow your mind to gently wander to the quiet, unseen world beneath your feet. Tonight, we descend into the soil, into a hidden, humming realm where roots speak and trees listen. Yes, we're about to explore one of nature's most astonishing secrets, the wood wide web. Imagine a peaceful forest at dusk. The last rays of golden sunlight stretch through the treetops. Birdsong has faded to a hush. But far below the surface, a secret conversation continues, one not carried by sound, but by scent, signal, and thread. It begins in the roots. Picture a massive old tree, a grandmother tree, centuries old. Her trunk is thick, her branches wide, and her roots, oh, her roots reach far and deep. She touches the roots of other trees, young saplings, tired elders, trees of different kinds altogether. But between those roots is something more, a network of mycorrhizal fungi, tiny, delicate threads stretching through the soil like nature's own internet cables. These fungi connect tree to tree, plant to plant. They carry not only nutrients, but messages. Now imagine the grandmother tree feels drought approaching. Her roots sense the soil drying, the change in pressure. Through the fungal network, she sends a signal, like a whisper in the dark. Water is low. Prepare. Far away, a younger tree, just a sapling, receives the message and tightens its tiny pores, conserving precious moisture. The forest listens. The roots reply. And so, a whole woodland becomes one breathing, sensing, sharing being. Even the smallest wildflower may be connected. Through these fungal threads, called hyphae, sugars, minerals, and warnings are passed in silence. Some trees share extra food with others in need. Some send alerts when pests attack, allowing their neighbors to create defenses before danger arrives. It's not just communication, it's care. Now imagine lying on the soft forest floor, moss beneath your head, eyes closed. You feel the quiet pulse of the ground beneath you. The roots don't make sound, but you can sense them reaching, shifting, responding. They are the forest's memory. Its nervous system. Its whispering soul. Above you, the trees stand still. But below, they talk. Let that thought settle into your breath. What would the trees say to one another if they could speak in words? Perhaps. I am here. You are not alone. Or, lean on me when storms come. Or even just, good night. As you drift into sleep, know this. Every leaf in every forest is nourished not just by sun and rain, but by the quiet, loyal tangle of roots below. And those roots are whispering still. The scented signals of survival. Welcome back, dear dreamer. As you snuggle deeper beneath your blanket, let your thoughts drift to a sun-drenched meadow where wildflowers sway gently in the breeze and the air is filled with invisible messages, delicate and sweet, powerful and ancient. Tonight, we explore a wondrous truth: plants can talk with scent. Let's begin in the golden light of early morning. A field of lavender hums softly with bees. Their wings blur with motion, drawn to the violet blooms not only by sight, but by scent. To us, lavender smells calming, soft and clean. But to a bee, it's a message: come here. There's nectar waiting. This is the first kind of plant language, invitation. But it doesn't stop there. As the sun rises higher, let's move deeper into the forest. We pass by tall pines and leafy oaks, the air cool and earthy. Suddenly, in the distance, a caterpillar begins chewing on a leaf. To us, it might sound like silence. But the tree knows. Almost instantly, that tree releases chemicals into the air, volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. To us, they might smell bitter or sharp. But to nearby trees, these scents are a warning. Something is eating me, the tree seems to say. Get ready. And the neighbors do. They change their chemistry, making their leaves tougher, less tasty. Some even call in help, releasing scents that attract birds or parasitic wasps that prey on the hungry caterpillars. This is the second kind of plant language, alarm. Now imagine a field of sagebrush in the desert wind. A rabbit takes a bite of one plant. Immediately, the sagebrush emits a cloud of scent. The neighboring sagebrush pick up the scent and start producing bitter compounds to protect themselves, even if they haven't been touched. The message drifts on the breeze like smoke signals. And yet no one makes a sound. Let's pause here, in this field of silent talkers, and imagine what it would be like to understand their language. What does jasmine say to the night moth? What secrets does mint send on the wind? What does rosemary whisper when danger passes and all is safe again? These scents aren't just lovely, they are survival. A wild rose doesn't just bloom to be beautiful, it blooms to be seen and smelled, to connect with bees and butterflies. And in doing so, she becomes part of the world's whispering rhythm. As you close your eyes tonight, know that even in the stillest corners of the world, communication continues. The night-blooming flowers open slowly, perfuming the dark. The leaves exhale soft warnings, soft welcomes. You are cradled in a world of silent conversation. Breathe deeply. The plants are talking. And all you have to do is sleep, and listen. The Underground Network. Welcome back, dear dreamer. Tonight, we travel below the surface, into the quiet, shadowy depths of the soil. Beneath our feet lies a secret world where plants aren't just growing, they're communicating, cooperating, and caring for one another in ways once thought impossible. Let's begin in an ancient forest, where towering trees stand as sentinels of time. But our gaze isn't upward tonight, it's downward, past the moss and the fallen leaves, past the roots that twist like gentle fingers into the dark earth. Imagine now that you shrink, slowly, gently, becoming smaller and smaller, until you slip beneath the soil like a feather floating down. Here, in the rich darkness, an intricate web stretches out in every direction, a living lace of fine, delicate threads. This is the mycorrhizal network, the wood wide web. It is made of fungal filaments, called hyphae, and they weave among the roots of trees and plants like threads in a tapestry. But these threads aren't just for anchoring or absorbing water. They are messengers. A birch tree, strong and sun-drenched, might send a little extra sugar down its roots and into the web. A neighboring fir tree, shaded and struggling, might receive that sugar, a gift passed through the network. It's as if the forest were sharing food at the dinner table. And not just food, warnings, too. When one tree is attacked by pests or disease, it can release chemical signals through the fungal network. Danger is near, it seems to say. Other trees, receiving the message, begin to boost their own defenses, preparing for a threat they can't yet see. It's not just communication. It's community. These fungi don't work alone either. They trade nutrients for sugars in a beautiful balance of give and take. Nitrogen, phosphorus, even water, all exchanged between plant and fungi in an invisible handshake beneath the earth. Some scientists call these fungal connectors mother trees, because the oldest, most established trees support the youngest saplings nearby, funneling nutrients and signals to help them grow. Even in death, a tree gives. As it decays, it feeds the network, which feeds the next generation. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is lost. Here in this secret, underground world, cooperation beats competition. So now, as you drift into sleep, imagine yourself resting beneath the roots of a wise old tree. Above, the wind rustles the leaves gently. Below, a network of life glows quietly, sharing, warning, connecting. You are part of this living web, part of the same breath, the same pulse, the same story. Breathe in. Breathe out. The forest speaks in silence. And tonight, it sings you to sleep. Leaf fluttering in wind, Milky Way crescent moon. Music of the leaves. Welcome back, sleepy traveler. Tonight, we'll gently explore a magical truth, that plants can hear, feel, and even create something like music. We'll drift into the world of vibrations, subtle sounds, and the beautiful symphony playing all around us in silence. So take a deep breath, and exhale slowly. Let your body soften and sink deeper into your bed, like a seed settling into soil. We are about to listen to the quietest concert in the world. Close your eyes and picture a serene greenhouse filled with sunlight. Leaves glow emerald green. Vines curl up lattices. Orchids float like soft stars in bloom. There is no noise, yet something stirs in the stillness. Let's lean in closer, not with ears, but with imagination. Because science has discovered that plants respond to sound. They don't have ears or voices like ours, but their cells and structures can sense vibrations in the air. The hum of a bee, the rustle of wind, even the soft tones of human speech, these tiny tremors awaken responses inside a plant. Some flowers bloom more brightly when exposed to classical music. Others send roots stretching toward the source of a soft hum. It's as if the world itself is whispering, and the plants are listening. And in their own way, they're singing back. Scientists have recorded faint, high-frequency clicks and pulses from roots. These tiny sounds, too quiet for human hearing, might help roots navigate, like a kind of sonar. They may even allow one plant to sense another's presence nearby. Some researchers now believe that each plant has its own signature vibration, its own resonance, like a musical note. When plants are healthy, the note is pure and calm. When they're distressed, the frequency changes. A silent signal, carried in the air and earth. And then there's the music of photosynthesis, the gentle rhythm of sunlight becoming sugar, of water rising through veins, of oxygen released like a quiet breath. Some musicians have even connected plants to synthesizers, translating leaf signals into sound. The result? Ethereal, haunting melodies that seem to carry the voice of nature itself. You can imagine it now. A garden at night, bathed in moonlight. Each plant softly glowing. Each leaf humming a different tone. The fern plays a low, green chord. The tulip sings in golden trembles. The willow tree holds a long, deep note, like a cello in the wind. Together, they make a living symphony, a concert of chlorophyll and calm. Tonight, as you rest, know that this invisible harmony surrounds you. Nature is always playing, gently, patiently, without needing applause. And in the quiet space between your thoughts, you are part of the music, too. Breathe in, and feel the hush. Breathe out, and feel the rhythm. The song of the leaves continues, as you drift softly into sleep. Leaf fluttering in wind, musical note, crescent moon. The dreaming forest. Welcome back, dear listener. Tonight, we journey into the heart of an ancient forest, not just as visitors, but as dreamers. Settle in, nestle under your covers, and allow your breath to become soft and slow. Feel the quiet hum of nighttime as we wander into a place where trees whisper dreams, and time moves like mist. Let's imagine the oldest forest on Earth. It begins with silence, soft and deep. You're standing on a mossy path surrounded by towering trees, their trunks thick with wisdom and their roots braided deep into the earth. The canopy above you is high and vast, filtering the starlight like 1,000 tiny lanterns flickering through leaves. As you begin walking, every step is cushioned. The forest floor is soft with layers of fallen leaves, petals, and centuries of memory. It smells like rain and bark and something faintly sweet, like time itself. This is a dreaming forest. And the trees? They dream, too. Though they stand still, trees lives rich in sensation and connection. Scientists have discovered that trees sleep at night. Their leaves droop slightly. Their branches lower ever so gently as if sighing into rest. It's a subtle movement. One we'd never see unless we slowed down, like now. In your imagination, you place your palm gently on the bark of a nearby tree. It's warm from the sun, now giving off the heat it stored during the day. Inside, water moves slowly. Sap flows like a silent lullaby. Roots pulse gently beneath the earth. And the tree sleeps. But even in sleep, it listens. Trees are connected underground through a network scientists lovingly call the wood wide web, a vast system of roots and mycorrhizal fungi that link trees together like whispers in a dream. Through this network, trees send each other messages, warnings, nutrients, comfort. A mother tree may feed her saplings through her roots. An injured tree may receive help from a neighbor. And as they rest under the moon, perhaps they dream of sunlight, of rainfall, of tiny birds nesting in their branches. Far above, an owl glides silently through the cool air. A breeze rustles the leaves, not harsh, but like the pages of a book being gently turned. You continue walking until you find a quiet glade, where the trees open into a circle. In the center, a single ancient tree stands, enormous and still. You sit at its roots, leaning your back against the trunk. You can almost feel its dreams, long, slow dreams of seasons changing, of ice melting, of blossoms blooming over centuries. You breathe in. You breathe out. And the forest, all around you, seems to breathe with you. Tonight, you are not separate from this place. You are part of it. Just like the trees, you rest. Just like the forest, you dream. Let go now, and drift into that soft, leafy silence. The dreaming forest will keep you safe. Evergreen Tree Milky Way ZZZ. The Healing Grove. Welcome back, sleepy soul. Tonight, we're stepping gently into a grove where healing whispers through the leaves, and ancient green wisdom surrounds you. Let your body sink deeply into your bed, your shoulders relaxing, your breath steady and slow. The day is done, and the world is hushed. You are safe, held softly by the night. Let's return to the forest. The sun has just set, and the last golden light glows at the horizon like a candle slowly fading. You follow a narrow trail edged with soft moss and fireflies that flicker like tiny floating lanterns. As you walk, you enter a grove unlike any you've seen before. It's peaceful here, almost sacred. The trees are smaller than those in the older forest you visited before, but they grow in a perfect circle. Their trunks lean inward slightly, as though they are listening to one another. In the very center, a gentle light glows from a low stone fountain. Water trickles softly into a crystal-clear pool. The sound is steady and soothing, like a lullaby played by nature itself. This is a healing grove, the kind of space that has existed quietly for thousands of years. In ancient times, humans would seek out places like this to rest, reflect, and renew. They believed the plants here had special powers. Not of magic, but of calm and restoration. And perhaps they were right. Many of the medicines we know today come from plants, aspirin from willow bark, heart medicine from foxglove, even pain relievers from the bark of certain trees. But beyond the medicines, the very presence of plants can be healing. Studies show that walking in forests lowers stress, improves heart health, and even boosts our immune systems. It's as if the trees give us something back, something unseen, but deeply felt. In this grove, the air is sweet and fresh. It smells of mint, pine, and soft earth. Each breath you take brings quiet energy to your body, and peaceful stillness to your mind. You sit on a smooth stone beside the fountain. The ground is warm beneath you, and you lean back against a tree whose bark feels like soft velvet. It welcomes your presence without a sound. Above, the stars begin to appear, peeking between leaves like curious eyes watching kindly from the heavens. You close your eyes. You feel the heartbeat of the grove. Slow. Gentle. Steady. And in that rhythm, your thoughts soften. The worries of the day melt like mist. A gentle breeze brushes your cheek, cool and kind, as though the forest itself is offering a goodnight kiss. Here, in this healing grove, you are not alone. You are with ancient friends, trees, leaves, roots, and stars. All is well. You are healing. And you are home. Drift now, peacefully, into the deep green quiet. Let the plants cradle you in their patient, living arms. Deciduous tree droplet crescent moon. The forest's memory. Welcome, dear dreamer. Tonight, we journey deeper into the soul of the forest, into a place where memories are not just stored in minds, but in roots, rings, and leaves. So take a deep breath in, and a long breath out. Feel your body relax, your thoughts slow like a river smoothing out after a long journey. You are safe here. The night has wrapped you gently in stillness. And the trees are waiting to share their stories. Let's begin. You awaken just before dawn in the soft forest grove where you spent the night. The air is cool and damp, and a delicate mist floats just above the ground. The grove is quiet, except for the slow drip of water from leaves and the occasional sleepy birdsong. You rise and follow a path you hadn't noticed before. It winds between low shrubs and ancient stones covered in moss, guiding you deeper into the woods. Soon, you come upon a clearing filled with massive trees, oaks and firs that tower toward the sky like watchful elders. You've entered the memory woods. These trees have stood for hundreds, some even thousands, of years. They have witnessed the rise and fall of seasons, the comings and goings of animals, the footsteps of humans passing in wonder. And they remember. Not as we do, with thoughts or words, but in their bodies. In the rings that form each year beneath their bark. In the direction of their branches. In the stretch of their roots. Each ring tells a story. A wide ring might whisper of a wet, warm year full of growth. A thin one might mark a dry, quiet season. A scar deep within the trunk could recall a lightning strike from decades past. The forest holds its history in silence, but if you listen closely, you can feel it. You sit at the base of the largest oak. Its trunk is broad enough that it would take 5 people holding hands to circle it. You place your hand gently on its bark. At first, all you feel is texture, rough, dry, and cool. But then, slowly, you feel something deeper. A warmth. A vibration. It's not a sound, but a presence. A kind of pulse, like a memory flowing beneath the surface. In your mind's eye, you begin to see flashes. You see a young sapling bending under spring rain. You see deer grazing nearby, unaware of the future. You see fireflies dancing in a summer that feels hundreds of years old. And then a winter, cold, still, but peaceful. This tree, this forest, has seen it all. Even now, scientists are learning just how much trees can communicate, through chemical signals in the air, and even underground networks of fungi that connect roots across vast distances. The forest is alive with memory, connection, and quiet wisdom. And now, you are part of it. As you sit quietly, leaning back against the oak, you feel your own memories soften, becoming lighter, less sharp. You no longer need to hold them so tightly. The forest holds you now. It will remember for you. And so, you close your eyes. Your breath steady, slow, and deep. And you drift, wrapped in ancient bark and whispered histories. The memory of the forest is now your lullaby. Sleep well, dear one. Sleep deep. Evergreen tree ZZZ Milky Way. The Garden of Light. Welcome back, gentle traveler. Tonight, we journey to a hidden sanctuary, a radiant, dreamlike place known as the Garden of Light, where plants shimmer softly under moonbeams and the boundary between reality and dreams fades like morning mist. So settle in. Let your shoulders soften, and allow the quiet hum of sleep to draw near. Breathe in gently through your nose, and sigh out slowly through your mouth. Let the forest you've traveled through guide you gently onward. As you follow the moss-lined path through the woods, a soft glow appears in the distance. It pulses gently, like a heartbeat made of light. You feel drawn to it, not with urgency, but with quiet invitation, like a lullaby sung by the stars. The trees thin around you, and you emerge into a garden unlike any you've ever seen. The Garden of Light. It is circular and expansive, with stone walls draped in flowering vines. Every plant here seems to give off a subtle luminescence, not bright, but soft, like the light of fireflies or stars reflected in a calm lake. The leaves shimmer in shades of blue and violet. Pale gold lilies float on a slow-moving pond in the center, their petals glowing with dew. Ferns rustle faintly as though responding to your presence, and delicate trees bend their branches as if bowing. You step softly onto the moss that lines the path, and with each step, a faint ripple of light blooms beneath your feet. This is not just a garden, it is a living dream. The air hums gently, as if carrying a silent song composed by the plants themselves. You remember that plants can indeed make sound, tiny clicks and pops as they grow, imperceptible to most ears. And here in the Garden of Light, their music is audible, not through your ears, but somewhere deeper, like your very soul is listening. You find a stone bench beneath a tree that resembles a silver willow. Its branches hang low and whisper above you, brushing the ground in shimmering waves. You sit. And time becomes weightless. You're not sure how long you sit there, minutes, hours, days. But it doesn't matter. This garden exists outside of ordinary time. You observe a flower slowly unfurling, its petals glowing with internal light as it opens to the moon above. In this moment, you understand something beautiful. Light is not just something that shines from the sky. It is something that plants carry within them, something they gather, store, and share. They photosynthesize, yes, but they also transform light into life, into breath, into growth. And now, sitting in this enchanted garden, you too are touched by that quiet magic. You are bathed in a light that does not dazzle or burn, but comforts and calms. You feel it in your skin, your chest, your breath. Every part of you relaxes. Your body becomes as still as the pond. Your thoughts settle like petals on the water's surface. The Garden of Light begins to dim slightly, shifting from silver and gold to blue and violet, signaling that it's time to rest. You lie back on the bench, and the willow branches above you sway gently, casting patterns of soft shadow and light across your face. The stars blink slowly above you, as if watching with warm approval. And just as the last flower closes for the night, your eyes do too. The garden watches over you, breathing softly as you drift into the deepest, most peaceful sleep. Good night, dreamer. Crescent moon herb sparkles. The seed vault of dreams. Welcome, sleepy traveler. Tonight, our journey brings us deep underground, to a place few have ever seen, the seed vault of dreams, a secret sanctuary where the future of every forest, flower, and field is preserved in peaceful stillness. So settle in, let your body grow heavy, and allow your breath to become slow and steady. Inhale, and exhale, like the quiet rhythm of wind through dry leaves. Let us begin. You find yourself standing at the entrance of a mountain blanketed in snow. The world around you is silent, wrapped in the hush of night and the soft shimmer of moonlight on ice. Before you, a low door carved into the mountainside opens without sound. You step inside. A wave of warm air greets you, gently scented with earth, grain, and memory. You descend down a passage of smooth stone, lit by pale golden lanterns embedded in the walls. This is the Seed Vault of Dreams, a quiet monument to life's resilience and possibility. At the end of the tunnel, you emerge into a vast chamber, its ceiling lost in a dome of darkness above. All around you, tall shelves stretch like the stacks of an ancient library. But instead of books, these shelves are filled with tiny drawers, each labeled in a script you don't recognize, but somehow understand. You wander slowly down one row. Each drawer contains seeds, tiny, sleeping miracles. Some are round, others flat, some shaped like tiny stars or folded fans. Seeds from desert succulents, rainforest trees, alpine flowers, ocean grasses. You pull open a drawer. Inside, nestled in soft moss, are 3 tiny seeds, dark and speckled, no bigger than a raindrop. On the label, it says, "Midnight Jasmine, for the quiet moments between dreams." You gently hold one of the seeds in your hand. It's cool, and for a moment you imagine the entire plant sleeping inside, its roots, its stems, its scent-filled blooms, all waiting for the right moment to awaken. A voice, warm and wise, speaks softly, not aloud, but inside you. Every seed is a promise. A whisper from the past to the future. You nod, placing the seed gently back in its bed. It belongs here, in this sacred vault of stillness. Farther down the chamber, you come to a great mural carved into the stone wall. It tells the story of how this vault came to be, not through machines or architects, but through the quiet labor of countless hands. People from every corner of the world brought their rarest, most precious seeds, not out of fear, but out of hope. Hope that even if storms come, and fields lie fallow, life will find a way to bloom again. You sit on a stone bench carved with climbing ivy patterns and let the peace of this place settle over you. In the silence, you hear the dreams of the seeds, soft echoes of wind in forests yet to grow, buzzing bees yet to be born, petals that have not yet known sunlight. The future rests here, in stillness, in waiting, in quiet trust. And so do you. You lie back on the bench, warmed by the glow of lanterns above, as the soft hum of the earth rises to cradle you. The seed vault, its breath steady and deep, welcomes you to sleep, deep, still, full of dreaming things not yet awakened. Let your thoughts become seeds. Let your breath become soil. And rest now. As the world above sleeps, and life waits quietly below. Good night, dear dreamer. The garden that waits for rain. Welcome back, dear dreamer. Tonight, we drift to a land of sun-baked earth and silent skies, to visit the garden that waits for rain. A quiet, patient patch of nature where seeds lie dormant, where every root dreams of water, and where life pauses, but never truly stops. Make yourself comfortable. Let your body grow heavy, your breath slow and gentle, like clouds that wander without hurry across the sky. Inhale deeply, and exhale everything. Let us begin. You find yourself walking through a quiet, golden desert at dusk. The sand beneath your feet is warm from the day's sun, but the air has cooled, soft with the promise of stars. Ahead of you, nestled between 2 gentle hills of rock and dust, lies a humble, fenced garden. Its wooden posts are weathered, its gate slightly ajar. You step inside. At first glance, the garden appears still, perhaps even lifeless. The soil is cracked in places, its surface pale from thirst. No flowers bloom here, no leaves flutter in the breeze. But the stillness is not empty. You kneel and touch the earth. It's dry, but it holds a deep, ancient energy. Like a book with a story waiting to be read. You lean closer and feel it, just beneath the surface, the seeds are sleeping. Waiting. Some have waited for months, others for years. Yet they haven't given up. They rest in peace, knowing the rain will come, eventually. At the center of the garden is a clay pot, half buried in the ground. Inside it, water glimmers, collected from past rains, preserved like memory. It hasn't evaporated because the garden protects it. This water is sacred. You scoop a handful and gently pour it onto a corner of the garden. Almost instantly, the change begins. The earth drinks deeply. The cracked soil softens. A tiny green stem pushes upward, unfolding like a dream stretching after a long sleep. You watch in awe as a slow ripple of life passes across the garden. Sprouts emerge. Petals unfold. Thin, vine-like roots spread with purpose and poise. This isn't sudden magic, it's something older, wiser. The garden has done this before. It will do it again. Above you, a single raindrop falls from a drifting cloud. Then another. And then, the sky opens gently. The garden drinks gratefully, quietly. You sit beneath a flowering bush, its blooms a pale violet that glows under the silver light of the moon. The petals smell like memory, like a place you've never been, but somehow miss. Raindrops tap softly on your shoulders, your legs, your closed eyelids. And in the rhythm of the rain, the world exhales. This garden, which seemed still and barren, now sings a quiet lullaby, a hymn of waiting, of enduring, of returning. And you, too, feel it within you. The reassurance that you don't need to bloom all the time. Sometimes, it's okay to rest. To wait. To trust in the coming rain. As the downpour becomes a mist, you lie back on the warm earth, now softened and scented by life. The flowers curl close around you. The seeds beneath you whisper promises in their sleep. And you, wrapped in the hush of rebirth, let go into your own rest. The garden has waited for rain. And you have arrived with it. Sleep now, like a seed in soil. Still, safe, and ready to rise. Cloud with rain sheaf of rice zzz. The Whispering Forest. Welcome back, dear listener. Tonight, as we close this tranquil journey through the secret life of plants, we wander into the heart of an ancient, living cathedral, the Whispering Forest, where trees speak without words and time moves like sunlight through leaves. Let your body rest now. Feel your limbs melt into the mattress, as soft as moss beneath the canopy. Let the breath be like the wind, gentle, effortless, and slow. Now drift with me. You find yourself at the edge of a forest unlike any you've seen before. The trees here are tall and old, their bark covered in lichen and memories. Their trunks stretch upward endlessly, disappearing into a canopy of green so dense it filters the sunlight into a calm, golden hue. There's no path ahead, only soft earth and dappled light. But something calls you in, a feeling, perhaps. A hum, almost imperceptible, that comes not from your ears, but from your chest. A resonance, like your heartbeat recognizing its echo in the forest. You step forward, and the forest welcomes you. Birdsong slows to a lullaby. A fox pauses to meet your gaze, then continues on. Somewhere above, a leaf detaches from a branch and twirls silently to the ground, like a thought finally released. And then, you hear it. Not with your ears, but deep in the quiet part of your mind. The forest is whispering. The trees murmur not in words, but in warmth. Their roots stretch deep into the earth, where they touch the roots of others, exchanging wisdom, warning of storms, offering strength. You sit beside an ancient oak and place your hand on its bark. It's rough, but steady, like the spine of the world. With closed eyes, you listen. You hear stories of the seed this tree once was, so small, so hidden beneath soil and snow. You hear of droughts endured, of branches lost in wind, of birds that sang and built homes in its limbs. The tree has never rushed to grow. It simply remained. Rooted. Patient. Trusting the sun would rise, even after long nights. In this final moment, the forest gently teaches you what it knows. You are part of this cycle, this rhythm. You, too, grow quietly. You, too, weather seasons. And like the forest, you don't have to be loud to be alive. You lie back beneath the tree, moss cradling your spine. The scent of leaves and rain-soaked earth fills your breath. The forest continues to whisper, soft and unhurried. Time becomes gentle. The forest fades into darkness, but it isn't empty. It's full of dreams and life and everything that sleeps with you tonight. And as the last leaf drifts downward through the cool night air, you drift with it. Floating. Rooted. Whole. The journey ends where all life begins, in the stillness. And in that stillness, you find rest. Evergreen tree crescent moon ZZZ.